I've been using the tractor to get this area cleaned out, got the stumps. You can see from this other video. Now, my method versus Dale's, mine is quicker. I didn't use any hand shovels or trowels or anything. I just used the bucket of the tractor and dug these out. So it doesn't look like much now, so I'll go ahead and get them cleaned up and in pots, and I'll show you what I've got. So yesterday I dug these out with the tractor. Well, actually this is kind of the remnants of the cleanup. I did wash off the native soil and rough trimmed it. Now I'm gonna get these in containers. So last night what I did was, after I got it all cleaned off, I wanted to make sure I protect the roots, so I had them soaking in water. Okay, I've been working all morning, and this is the last one that's going to go in. And you see, it's a stump, and I've been removing a lot of the roots. This used to go way out here, but I wanted to get it small, and I think it's doable because look at all this root here, right? So I took off as much of the big root as possible, because eventually it's going to have to fit into a bonsai pot, and if you have these big roots, then you'll have a difficult time finding a container that is within your budget. Okay, this is the, well, it looks like a stump, but this is the one that I just showed you, and all the goodness part is in the ground. Okay, so you see the scratch, this peeling of the bark. Well, that's one of the drawbacks of using the tractor to dig them up. Well, I didn't even see these, so I just used the front bucket and scooped it out. And evidently, I scraped it. But it doesn't matter. These privets, they grow very fast. And then probably as we get into start to shape it, that little scratch will probably become one of the little features. Okay, so one of the things about the material at this state, don't worry about it. You could just chop it down like this, and then we'll start to shape. And because it's a privet, we should be able to get something really nice looking in 2, 3, 5 years, definitely. But I think that 2 and 3 would be sufficient to get these to the point where. Here's another one. This one here has really, really long roots. It was long and well distributed. So in the future, this might even become something for a root over rock. I didn't have the time to deal with it this time, so I just stuck it in this container. So most of what you're going to be seeing is all the good part is underground. And you wonder, why didn't you show me all this stuff? Because it was going to get really long. Here is another stump. I think in the next couple of years we'll be working on these. So hopefully you remember what we're looking at right now. All of them had a great root flare. You can see where the rough cut was with the reciprocating saw. Okay, see, you see the big scar there? That should become an interesting feature in the future. Okay, now, which way am I going? Really, don't have to plan that far ahead. These will re-sprout everywhere, so it'll be easy to just start to shape in another year or two. Actually, by middle of next year, we probably should get our main line in place. Remember I was saying that area, these were just growing wild, so I kept cutting it back. Well, I had to recut it, but look at the size of this trunk here. Like all the others, it has great root flare down below. It's buried a little bit deep because I need the stability. But as we get to the next couple stages, we'll start to expose them again. This one here, I think, has the most promise. It had this really nice movement started. And you know how it happened was it was kind of jammed against a tree, big tree, and kind of had to go sideways to get to the sunlight. So that's why it has this really nice curve to it. I have a lot of ideas for this one here. Oh, the root structure was excellent. So I think this one should really turn out nice in the next 3 to 5 years. This one has 2 directions it could go, but it's not too bad. A lot of times I try to get it as close as possible to one line, but this one, I think the lower or the bigger one will get removed. But you know, this stage, all we want to do is to make sure that these get well established. So that's my main concern. Once we know for sure the root has taken hold and it's in very hardy condition, then we'll start the training process. One of the things I've been doing with these, well, one, because it's very hardy, but I've been pruning the root zone really hard so I could get it in as small of a container as possible. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is economics for me. The bigger it is, the more space it's going to take in the nursery. But the other is, you know, somebody that gets this, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, well, if the container was big, the roots will spread so wide that you need a very big bonsai container. And that leads to expense. And another thing that we are starting to be very concerned about is the sheer weight of these things as we mature. These are on the smaller side. When I get these shaped up, it'll be more affordable. Well, you know, some of this just popped out. So anyway, oh yeah, you can see the scarring again. That's where the tractor kind of scraped it. It's okay, it'll shape up again. Another stump, of course. Yes, I think it's, for many of you, it's going to be hard to visualize, but I don't have a problem. In the past, these that were grown in the ground, I wanted to kill it. So I took my saw and cut it at ground line, thinking that most plants will die that way. Well, not the privet, it comes right back. So I have high hopes for all these, and I'm not worried too much. Yeah, that's the tractor damage. You could sort of visualize, you know, when I was pushing with my tractor, the front bucket probably caught this plant and then scraped it and popped it out. Now, it really worked well because we had this storm that dumped a lot of water. The soil I have here is called DG, decomposed granite, and as long as it has moisture, it's really easy to work with. Okay, this is the last of the bunch. It's on the smaller side, but I think in another couple years, I could have some affordables for people that are just getting started. But all these that I've shown you today, they all have great structure down below in the soil. Oh yeah, and then you can see that all the tractor scraper. Okay, so that's the last of this batch. Okay, one of the things I did not do was to water. It was going to get really messy. You can see now I have a cart full of new material. And I'm in the process of trying to downsize and quit this business, and I'm not working well doing it like this. So there's about a dozen here, and hopefully we'll see these as a cart full of series. Maybe not all 12 at once, but I'll bring in representative samples so that you can see what happens as we get going here with this very, very raw material. But I spent very little time digging it out, but I did spend time thinking about and reducing the root ball and getting rid of a lot of the large things so that in the future these will become good bonsai material. So anyway, this is sort of the follow-up from Dale. He did the simulated Yamadori correctly, and this is Hiro'S commercial version using the tractor and scooping them out. So as I say goodbye, let's look at these scars. I think in the future these will become nice little features. Okay, so I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. So today is towards the last week of October. Maybe it should have been done a little bit sooner so it has chance to recover a little bit before the cold sets in, but it was too dry. I needed that rain before I got started. So anyway, I'm done with this. I need to go find a place to store all this so that it does not get disturbed. Okay, see you again real soon in another chapter.